That's my audience. On the laptop. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'll be discussing American Sign Language and the importance of it in school curriculums. All right, everyone. Imagine walking into school every day and not being able to communicate with your. Good morning. Okay, let's just redo this. Pause. Okay, let's redo this. Let's redo it. Okay, I got 30 minutes to try it again. Okay, ready? Really smoky. Really smoky. Really, nigga. On my mother, when I get this fucking carpet clean, smoky, you won't be on it. On everything. You either only gonna be outside, in the kitchen. I don't know. I don't know. But I know you ain't gonna be on it. Good morning. Hold on. Stop. Start over, bitch. Good morning. Good morning. Morning shit. Oh my gosh. What is it? It's recording now. Okay. Good morning. Thank you for coming to my talk. I will be discussing American Sign Language and the importance of it in our schools, in our school curriculum. Good morning. Thank you for coming to my talk. I will be discussing American Sign Language and the importance of it in our school curriculum. Imagine walking into school every day and not being able to communicate with your classmates or teachers because they don't understand your language. For millions of deaf and hard of hearing Americans, that is a reality. Now imagine if everyone learned just enough American Sign Language to say hello, ask a simple question, or offer help. That small change could make a huge difference. According to the CDC, data and statistics on hearing loss in children, this translates to roughly 1 to 3 babies per 1,000 a year. It's a lot of American babies that are deaf. Today, we're going to be discussing American Sign Language, also known as ASL, and why it should be offered as a required language option in schools. I believe communication should bring people together instead of creating barriers. I wanted to learn more about how American Sign Language benefits both deaf and hearing individuals. After researching the topic, I discovered that American Sign Language does much more than help people communicate. It promotes inclusion, improves cognitive skills, and prepares students for future careers. By the end of my speech, you will understand what ASL is, why it is important in education, and how learning it benefits society. Okay, first, we'll be discussing exactly what is American Sign Language. Do you know? I do. All right. What is American Sign Language exactly? It's more than just hand gestures. It's more than that. Many people assume ASL is simply English spoken with hand gestures. That's not true. American Sign Language is its own complete language with unique grammar, sentence structure, facial expressions, and vocabulary. According to the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, ASL is the primary language used by many deaf and hard of hearing individuals in the United States and parts of Canada. ASL uses hand movements, facial expressions, body language, eye contact to communicate meaning. Facial expressions are especially important because they help express emotions, questions, and emphasis, much like tone of voice does in spoken language. Learning American Sign Language also introduces students to the hearing impaired culture, which is a very rich community with its own history, traditions, and values. Now, what does that mean? That it's a pretty cool culture. I myself started learning sign language when I was in middle school. Now, let's look at why it belongs in our schools for educational and cognitive benefits. That's why I honestly think that it does help memory because I do remember a lot of things because of sign language. But it does provide educational benefits for students. Research has shown that learning a second language improves memory. I vouch for that. Critical thinking, problem solving skills, and concentration. Because ASL is visual rather than spoken, it activates different parts of the brain compared to spoken languages. Students who learn ASL also improve their nonverbal communication skills. They become more aware of facial expressions, body language, and eye contact, which are important in everyday communication. You know, they're basically learning how to read the room. Another benefit is increased classroom inclusion. If more students learned ASL, deaf and hard of hearing students will feel more connected with their classmates instead of isolated. Friendships could develop more naturally and communication barriers would decrease. Even hearing students benefit American Sign because learning American Sign Language teaches patience, empathy, and cultural awareness, skills that are valuable throughout life. These educational benefits show that ASL supports both academic success and social development. Now we're going to move into the benefits, career opportunities, and the community impact of American Sign Language. Learning ASL can create many career barriers while improving communication throughout our communities. Healthcare professionals, teachers, social workers, customer service employees, and emergency responders often interact with deaf individuals. Being able to communicate without immediately needing an interpreter can improve safety, build trust, and provide better service. For example, myself, I know the basics of sign language, and I did encounter um, a hearing impaired and visual individual at my work, and it did. I don't want to necessarily say made life easier, but it did bring me and my resident closer because I was able to communicate with him on just, surface level, you know, knowing his needs, finding out his needs and his wants and fulfilling them for him. However, for example, imagine a deaf person arriving at a hospital during an emergency. If a nurse or doctor knows even basic ASL, they can quickly communicate important information before an interpreter becomes available, i.e., me. Mhm. Businesses also benefit from employees who know American Sign Language because they can better serve customers from the deaf community. Bilingual employees, including those fluent in American Sign Language, often have more career opportunities. Beyond career, learning ASL helps build stronger communities where everyone feels welcomed and respected regardless of hearing ability. But you would never expect prejudices or discrimination because someone can't hear. I've never heard of that, and I hope I never do. I actually gravitate to my deaf community because just sign language itself, I feel like is something. It's beautiful hand gestures, I'ma say. However, to end our time together, American Sign Language is much more than a way to communicate. It is a complete language that connects people, strengthens communities, and promotes inclusion. Today, I appreciate all you guys for being here. And we learned that ASL has its own grammar and culture, improves learning and communication skills, and opens doors to future career opportunities, while also making schools and communities more inclusive. Imagine a future where students from every background can communicate with one another regardless of hearing ability. Something as simple as learning American Sign Language can help make that future possible. Thank you all for listening, and I hope this speech has helped you better understand the importance of American Sign Language in education.